Imagine the stage lights go completely dark. The audience vanishes. The script disintegrates in your hands and you forget your lines. You forget who you're meant to portray, your role in the world. You're no longer the class clown, the daughter, the geek, or the mother. You no longer have a social media account to update, an autobiography to write. There are no eyes to witness you, and no mouths to speak behind your back. So who are you? Who are you without the script you have lived with your whole life? This is the abyss that Swedish filmmaker and screenwriter Ingmar Bergman fearlessly confronts in his monumental 1966 film, Persona. The premise is deceptively simple. A young nurse, Alma, is assigned to take care of her new patient, Elisabeth Vogler, a celebrated actress who suddenly and voluntarily has stopped speaking. They retreat to a remote summer cottage, but as the days pass, the silence and isolation begin to erode the boundaries between them. Alma soon finds the very foundations of her identity dissolving, making it impossible to distinguish where she ends and Elisabeth begins. The true meaning of Persona has been a subject of fervent debate since its release, its ambiguity masterfully concealing a definitive answer beneath layers of interpretation. Is it a neurological allegory, with Alma representing the brain's chattering, logical left hemisphere and Elisabeth the silent, reportative right? Or is the entire story a metafiction where Elisabeth is the only character, an actress simply studying and dissecting Alma as a preparation for a new role? Human perception is not a passive recording of reality, but an active, subjective projection of our inner world. The external universe serves as a neutral screen onto which we cast our personal thoughts, feelings, and beliefs. This is why two people can witness the very same event, see the same rain, and one finds peace while the other only sees destruction. We even project our inner state onto our own bodies, our demeanor and appearance becoming a canvas for our psychological interior. This principle explains why a single film like Persona can generate countless interpretations. And it's a point Bergman makes explicitly clear in his very first frames. A projector lamp is igniting, casting a chaotic cascade of images onto a screen. Before the story even begins, the director implicates us. He says, visually, that what you're about to experience is not a fixed truth that he will deliver, but a reflection of your own mind. The meaning you will find a testament to your inner self. And yet, we are pattern-seeking creatures. Even within this chaos and across the body of the film, we can find recurring images and assemble them into coherent themes. There is darkness. Then, two sources of light meet, and everything explodes into a visual echo of the Big Bang. The projector whirs to life, and we are hurled into a vortex of images. A penis, the primal image of mankind's creation. A cartoonish figure bathing, perhaps a parody of innocence and naivety. One character from a silent film chase another, like God and the devil, or good fleeing from evil. Then the cascade continues with a baby's soft arms, a spider crawling, a lamb being slaughtered, and finally a nail being hammered into a hand. Does the baby represent the infant Christ? Is the spider a representation of the deceptive and cruel nature of humankind? The nail hammered into the hand a depiction of Jesus' sacrifice for sin? In the Old Testament, the lamb often stands as symbolism for sacrifice to God. In the book of Exodus, as God was preparing to deliver the Israelites from slavery, he instructed his people to sacrifice a lamb, to spread the blood of the lamb over the doorposts and to eat the lamb. So is that what it represents? Bergman, having been raised in a strict religious household, only later to embrace atheism, consistently used Christian iconography in his works. So if these opening images fundamentally are religious, what do they tell us about the psychological drama that follows? The term persona, originating from the Latin word for the theatrical mask, was adopted by the founder of analytical psychology, Carl Jung, to describe the social archetype, the composite identity an individual presents to the world. This persona functions as a crucial adaptation to societal life. However, Jung cautioned that over-identification with this mask leads to a state of psychic impoverishment, where the authentic self recedes, creating a vacuum of identity. This theoretical framework illuminates the psychological crisis at the heart of persona. The characters of Alma and Elisabeth embodies a dialectical struggle between the persona and its repressed counterpart, the shadow. Their dynamic can be understood through a series of fundamental oppositions. Alma, the nurse, relies on speech and confession, the tools of social relation, to constitute her identity. Elisabeth, the actress, rejects the very medium of her profession as social interaction, her volitional muteness representing a radical deconstruction of the persona. Alma professes a belief in fundamental goodness and transcendent purpose. Elisabeth, by contrast, is paralyzed by the conviction that existence is defined by an unbearable weight of suffering, devoid of divine salvation. Alma yearns for motherhood to redeem a past abortion, viewing the role as a source of identity. Elizabeth, who has a son, experienced motherhood as a suffocating performance from which she must escape. Elizabeth's profession is central to her psychological state. As an actress, her life has been a perpetual performance, leading to what Jung identified as the primary danger of the persona, the conflation of seeming with being. Her subsequent breakdown is not a retreat into an authentic self, but a protest against inauthenticity itself.
Tror du inte jag förstår? Den hopplösa drömmen om att vara. Inte verka utan vara. I varje ögonblick medveten, vaksam. Och samtidigt avgrunden mellan vad du är inför andra och vad du är inför dig själv. Svindelkänslan och den ständiga hungern att äntligen få bli avslöjad.
By refusing to speak, act, or mother, she does not become her true self, but embodies the shadow, the totality of the repressed and unconscious aspect of the psyche. Consequently, Elizabeth becomes a projective screen for Alma, who represents the persona. Alma's unconscious fears, her latent nihilism, her deep-seated shame and her anxiety about her own goodness are mirrored and magnified by Elizabeth's silent, judging presence. Not only is Bergman a master of script and language, his genius lies in his ability to tell the story not with dialogue, but with the pure tools of cinema: light, shadow, and composition. We see this most clearly in how he lights the two women. For most of the film, Elizabeth's face is half hidden, often by shadow, a visual metaphor for the shadow self she embodies. Alma, by contrast, is almost always shown in full light, her face like an open book, representing the visible persona or social mask. It's only near the end, when Alma starts to question Elizabeth's intentions and character, that her face also is in shadow. And when Elizabeth laughs and her facade breaks and her hiding place starts to crack, that her face is fully shown. Whether you choose to wear the mask or not, your true being will always be hidden, either by the persona or by hiding. So it's all just a matter of which facade you choose to hide it behind. And that is what this represents. This facade is also shown in the film as a stone wall in the intro, which, together with the outro, is crucial to understanding the film. After the flashing images in the beginning, a boy wakes up and walks to an image screen with a woman's blurred face on it. Not only does this boy represent the son of one woman's split psyche, but also the viewer looking in to discover something new about themselves. The film's finale returns to this self-aware critique of performance. A camera crew appears and we see Elizabeth's face reflected in the cold lens. Alma leaves the cottage alone, suggesting there was just one person there the whole time. The person in the film they're making and that we've been watching. Alma is the actress, the role and persona, and Elizabeth in the camera is the true self inside her and behind the mask. the being that is trapped forever and only visible in that brief reflection. As previously mentioned, Ingmar Bergman was no stranger to putting parts of himself into key elements of his films. In Persona, the young boy reaching towards the screen does not only represent viewer and son, he's a direct stand-in for Bergman himself. And the entire prologue is the chaotic, symbolic projection of his fractured childhood memories. The opening montage is not mere representations of Christianity or images to provoke reaction, but symbols from Bergman's inner world, violently unpacked onto the screen. The most explicitly religious and painful of these symbols, the nail being driven into a hand, transcends its Christian symbolism of sacrifice. In the context of Bergman's recollection of his childhood as a life and death struggle, this image becomes a metaphor for the specific piercing pain of parental punishment or emotional cruelty. The child is literally pinned by the will of the parent. And this connects directly to his own description of his mother, Karin Bergman, a qualified nurse like Alma, whose warmth, according to Bergman, could turn to ice in a flash. This theme of a threatening, watchful presence is further embodied by the spider. It's a classic symbol of a predatory, entrapping figure, the one who weaves the web in which the child is caught. The spider's calm, deliberate movement contrasts with the frantic arms of the baby on a dark surface. These arms represent the primal helplessness and the first unformed cries for help from an infant who cannot yet speak. Finally, all these fragmented memories and traumas coalesce into the blurred lady on the projector canvas. The boy's gesture of reaching out for her is the adult Bergman's attempt, through his art, to finally reach out and comprehend the incomprehensible. Which is the real mother? Or are they both masks?